Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Logic, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to build a deck effectively and the logistics behind it. I've decided to make this one Koaki Meiru, but the first and foremost thing you would like to do before you even start building a deck is decide what exactly do you want. Do you want a control variant? Would you like an OTK variant or an alternate win condition such as Final Countdown or Exodia? Today, like I said, we're going to be building Koaki Meiru. Let me actually turn this down so it won't be blasting in your ears by the time that I'm done rendering it. Sweet. Now, when we look at Koaki Meiru as a deck type, Koaki Meiru, you see a lot of cards that don't really mesh well as a whole. Like, if I were to put every single Koaki Meiru in here, not only would that be bad, but they don't really work with each other. So when you want to look at any type of specific deck type, you want to look with cards that work with each other. Granted, there are cards that are just really good on their own, and then there's cards that are really bad. But when building a specific core or engine, you have to look at the cards that work really well. Fortunately, we don't have to look that hard because typically when we're building a control variant, which is Koaki Meiru, we're building an archetype. So all we have to do is look at the archetype cards and see which mesh really well. Now, this one requires a lot of work. These guys are just... when you really come down to it, after all the looking, you get the Rock Stun variant, which is pretty solid. Where's the Rock Stun monsters? I know I passed them. You get the Rock Stun variant, which is pretty solid. But when we look at that control variant, it requires a lot of setup, a lot of monsters, and just a lot of patience. I want a deck that not only can control, but can be explosive at the same time. So, we can look at the Koaki Meiru monsters, such as the Urnite and the Crusader combo. This combo is a one-trick pony almost by itself because Urnite gets Crusader. Crusader makes a one-card XC. When you go into XC plays, you can typically tip the game into your favor. I like that a lot better. So we're going to be running 3 copies of Urnite and then 3 copies of Crusader. That's our engine, or that's our base, I'm sorry. When you build the deck, you always want a base. And since I'm not going to be including the spells and traps, I'm only going to be going through the monsters, I won't include the diamond cores or the iron cores just yet. I want to make sure my monster lineup is solid. Now, when we look at the other Koaki Meirus, Koaki Meiru Draco isn't that bad. It does require you to reveal a dragon type, which we probably won't play because it takes away from the Beast Warrior. But we can still discard an Iron Core of Koaki Meiru, and Crusader can still recruit it if ever needed to be. So this is a nice option to just look at when we're deck building. When you build a deck, you want as much consistency as possible, because when we look at any of the winning YCS or World Qualifier, National, any of that, consistency is the #1 reason. Excuse me. Consistency is the #1 reason we win. They win. So you want, at the most, consistency. But now when we look at this deck, how can we make these 6 cards more consistent? Well, they happen to be Beast Warrior and Of the Earth attribute. So how do we build on that? The first thing that comes to mind is that they're Beast Warriors. So they work really well with the Tinky route. Well, since we're not into spells, what goes with Tinky? Bear. Bear is the best, or actually Fire Fist. Let's just type them in total, because there's still maybe Fire Fist that you would like. Fire Fist, not only is that their card, they work extremely well with Tinky, being able to use the card after you search your Urnite or whatever to gain more advantage. Now, when that comes to mind, you get Bear, Gorilla, that are just really good standalone cards, because we are not playing Fire Fist, we're playing Koaki Meiru, but we need the Fire Fist components. Leopard is good for searching it, but it requires a normal summon. So, let's just go with 3 copies of Fire Fist Bear. Now, the reason why I'm running 3 copies of Fire Fist Bear is because I want to see Tinky as early and often as possible. Also, now, if I draw Urnite without the Iron Core of Koaki Meiru, I will not be able to make any plays. Bear in itself can make a decent play by himself without me being able to summon or activate any of my Koaki Meiru monsters. Also, it keeps the opponent on the toes. If I were just to start off with a Tinky Bear situation, it has the opponent thinking that I'm playing Fire Fist, possibly even Bujins, Fire Kings, anything. They really don't know exactly what I'm playing, so they might even overextend to stop the bear, which gives us our Urnite play a little more pop because it will have a little less resistance. Next will be a risky card, but since we play Tinky, it shouldn't be that much of a risk. I'm going to be talking about Wolfbark. Now, Wolfbark adds even more pop to the deck. It doesn't necessarily add consistency because Wolfbark cannot special summon Koaki Meiru Urnites or Crusaders, but they can special summon Bear back to the field and then be able to go into an Exceed play, which is possibly Tiger King, to recruit the Urnites and the Crusaders. So that's pretty dope. I really like how Wolfbark has that much synergy with the deck, being able to bring out your star card, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's Fire Fist Tiger King, which even pushes this deck a little bit more towards the Fire Fist standpoint. Now I'm going to take a break for one quick second. Now, when one looks at this looks like an extremely solid monster base. We have triple copies of Tinky, we have triple copies of Diamond Core, and it should be able to search. Oh, excuse me. It should be able to search just about everything we need instantly, being able to allow us to make a lot of plays with little cost and still be able to run through our cards efficiently. Now, there is a problem to this. What if I don't draw Iron Core Koaki Meiru? What if I draw Fire Fist Bear, and since it's not as powerful as it used to be, what if it doesn't get over that problem? Well, now I need to either A, improve the consistency through monsters, or B, put in another engine. See, now we have kind of like a Fire Fist engine and kind of like a Koaki Meiru engine. I want to add a little more consistency first before I add another engine. With that, we're going to go right into Tour Guide. Tour G. Tour Guide. 2 copies of Tour Guide. I feel that 3 is completely unnecessary. It ruins consistency, mainly because you can't go Tour Guide into Tour Guide and then somehow go your 3rd Tour Guide into anything else. Running Night Assailant slows the deck down, and even the Koaki Meiru card, which would add consistency to the Koaki Meiru engine, also be a stun element. I forgot his name. I think it's Koaki. I'm just going to type in Koaki M. Full search it. Yeah, even Koaki Meiru Doom doesn't provide that much consistency, just because he's not really an amazing standalone card. He does stop light and dark, or he does start the effects of light and dark monsters, which is really good, but he's not really worth running that 3rd Tour Guide for. With that being said, Tour Guide is going to be an amazing play. What you do is you go Tour Guide to Tour Guide into Invoker. Invoker revealed the Iron Core, special summon the Urnite, and then you can go from there. Being able to instantly search your Koaki Meiru Urnite, I think that's going to be amazing to the deck. And if all else fails, we still have rank 3 access to Go Trick Alucard and Mecha Equipped Engineer, which are just going to be solid cards for the deck. Now, since I'm done basically with the Koaki Meiru engine, building up on the Beast Warrior aspect, I think I need to run another engine for like what I said. If I don't draw any of these cards, I won't be able to advance the game state, such as if I don't draw Iron Core ever. I know it's going to be hard for that not to happen, but it does happen. Or if I don't draw Tinkies and I draw all Bears, or if I draw something like that, I want to be able to capitalize and still be able to play this game called Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's where this kicks in. I'm going to be running the hands. Oops. Not Manju and Senju. I'm going to be running the actual hands. I'm going to be running 2 copies of Fire Hand and 2 copies of Ice Hand. Now this right here is going to help me with that stun element. Since this deck is a control deck, I want to try to control the board as much as possible. Getting rid of back row is essential for a control deck to advance in game state. And also, if you can get rid of monsters at the same time, kudos for you. It's going to make the deck just so much better. I think the Fire Hands and the Ice Hand is going to make the deck pop a lot more, just because it gets over a lot of problematic cards, such as monsters bigger than me, skill drain, cards that I can't really get over, as well as being another monster and a 3rd engine to the deck. I think that that's going to be just splendid. Well, thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Next time, we'll be going over the spell core and how to make the spell core work with the monster lineup to make it even more consistent, because that is key to winning games. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.